Hello friends and welcome to my channel. Today we are painting the Parliament buildings in Ottawa, the capital of Canada. I visited Ottawa last spring and I was walking in downtown and stumbled upon this view, which is a quite an unusual view. I guess the Parliament buildings are above the eye level, so you can see the complete structure, and it's a complicated building, and I guess I was attracted to the contrast between the complex architecture and the peaceful landscape down below with all the trees. So I'm starting with the first layer, which is basically putting down all the light, doing a quick gradient of cobalt blue in the sky and various shades of warm colors on the Parliament buildings that is lit by sunset, and similarly with the trees on the hill I'm just putting down the warm colors. It's gonna look like fall even though this is spring technically. And then advancing with the shadows, I'm using maybe 3 or 4 different pigments for the shadows, just so there is some variety and interest in the shadow. Let's talk about composition a little bit. I placed the focal area, which is the Parliament building itself, in the top left corner, and to contrast that, I'm going to highlight a few trees on the hill so that there are some secondary points of interest, and the viewer's eye can kind of travel through the painting with these different focal points. I'm working on the shading of the hill now, and I am trying to show the shape of the hill and the way the light is distributed. So the light is coming from the right, so the right side of the hill it will be lighter, and as it goes to the left it gets darker and darker, so it's kind of like rendering a sphere. Now the layer with the shadows has dried, and I'm adding more shadow where I missed it, or just find I need to add more definition and more volume to the trees. I'm slightly darkening the right part of the hill because then it would just make the hill seem like it is rounding, similar to a sphere or a cylinder. I also realized that the dark side of the hill is not dark enough, so I pre-wet that portion of the hill and I am adding darker paint. I think it's a mix with indigo, burnt sienna. I am trying to vary the shadow, so there are some warmer tones and cooler tones in the overall shadow. Now lastly, I am adding the details, and this is what's going to pull the painting together. So I'm using some white gouache and mixing it with yellows or blues depending on where I'm placing these highlights on the building. And also I'm using some darker color with a liner brush to show some accents on the architecture. With a mix of white gouache and a bit of blue, I am indicating some of the windows, not necessarily to show every window, but more just to break up the large shadows of the building a little bit, because in real life it is the same thing. A shadow is not just a dark plane, there's always some reflection and some light in them. And with white gouache and some purple, I am suggesting the branches of the trees, even though I took the reference photo in spring, but I kind of want the painting to look like it is fall. I'm taking again some white gouache and I'm suggesting some foliage, some leaves sparkling in the sunlight. My hope with adding these highlights is that it adds more detail to the landscape portion of the painting and balances out with the complexity of the building in the upper part. Now with this painting, the main area of interest is of course the Parliament building, but also the viewer can shift their gaze from it and enjoy some of the contrasts between light and dark in the trees. And this is the finished painting, and I hope you enjoyed the process. Let me know down in the comments what kind of paintings are you working on now, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.